Harry's Wife. Part 104.53. Uber talented. She wears skirts. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and amazing news reaches me about the endless talents of the Duchess of Industrial Beige, because courtesy of lifeandstylemag.com, in an article only the other day from Jessica Stopper, we're told Harry's wife shines in shorts and skirts. Photos of the former royal exposing her bare legs. Ooh. Oh yes, those of you that might remember Pearl and Dean in the cinema. Yes, your excitement must be off the scale, valuable listeners, as you're treated to that major headline. Once again, this is demonstrative of the Duchess of Industrial Beige, the Duchess of Delusion, the Duchess of Duplicity's requirement that she be front and centre at all times at the mind of the public, that nobody is allowed to have a moment's peace from her incessant clamouring for attention, i.e. fuel, and the necessity of the assertion of control. Things a bit quiet, prepping for your major appearance at a downtown Marriott hotel in Indianapolis? Well, why not ensure that your PR agency that's now gone in-house sends out some banal information about the clothing that you wear? Not getting the prominence that you expect, then organise for your in-house PR person to put out some shite about the clothing that you wear and the fact that you're exposing your bare legs. Make it seem like nobody else has shown their legs before. Make it appear that all women wander around basically wearing ball gowns right down to the floor so that one can't even see their ankles. Ensure that the world believes that you, and only you, have come up with the idea of showing off your bare legs. Yes, another PR puff piece that has been pumped out in order to keep the Duchess at the forefront of people's minds, all commensurate with her narcissism, which demands an antidote to the decreasing circles that she finds her in. Suggestions that has packed his bags and fucked off, causing a threat to control. Repeated slamming of her lieutenant, the improbably named plastic-faced Omid Scobie, causing a threat to her control. Meghan Kelly, a perpetual thorn in the side of the Duchess of Delusion, with her own tirades against her, all logical and evidence-based, of course. Threat to control. Increasing numbers of mainline journalists sick and tired of seeing her grasping behaviour and calling her out more and more for what she is. Threat to control. Social media overrun with the populace that can't stand her. Threat to control. Number of sugars melting away. Significant. Thus creating threat to control. It's not looking too good for Harry's wife. And there are so many things that are currently causing a threat to control, which is, of course, a consequence of those collateral aspects caused by her narcissism and its inability to keep all of those plates spinning. Thus, what does she fall back on? Well, it's not like she's going to come out with some major new initiative, because she'll have to bandwagon somebody else's. And at the moment, it's the Waleses in the ascendancy that are hoovering up those opportunities. Instead, it comes down to this. Fashion, because of her obsession with being a fashion icon. But let's dive into the article, because I'm sure you're all absolutely gasping to find out what they have to say. Royally hot. Harry's wife has had quite the fashion evolution over the years. Before marrying into the royal family with husband Prince Harry, she was starting to find her individual style. Yes, sackcloth and tent by army surplus, which consisted of many chic skirts and shorts. Although she had to dress more modestly when she was crowned the Duchess of Sussex, well, given the fact that you're regularly seen in your skimpies in suits, anything is more modest than that. We'll never forget her hottest looks from her young Hollywood days. She's not from Hollywood, and you're right, we won't be allowed to forget them because you keep putting out this utter nonsense, reminding us of the fact that she showed her legs off. Harry's wife is an advocate for women dressing freely and not conforming to society's standards, i.e., if I want to dress this way, I can, and if you call me difficult, you're saying that I'm a bitch, and that makes you not a nice person. And hasn't been shy to speak on the matter. Well, no, she's never shy. She never fucking shuts up. You can be a woman who wants to look good. Well, you might want to look good, Harry's wife, but the problem is you don't listen to your stylist, and thus you have such atrocities as overripe tomato woman goes to Freedom Gala, escape Jawa goes shopping, poo emoji hat, fridge by Valentino, Inspector Gadget gets booed, tent by Army Surplus, hyacinth bouquets, settee, teacup by Royal Doulton, Kermit goes to church, and other aberrations. You can be a woman who wants to look good and still stand up for the equality of women, by showing off your legs, presumably. There's no uniform for feminism. You are a feminist exactly the way you are. Okay, so if Candice the stripper is there turning tricks after hours to bump out a bit of a cash, she being a feminist, I guess she is. Good for her. The Californian native starred in the legal drama Suits. No fucking way. I didn't know that. Glad you mentioned it. From 2011 to 2017. While she gained a tremendous amount of acting skills through her role, she also learned a thing or two about fashion practices. I think the most important thing you can do is tailoring, she told Yahoo Style in 2020, and then went on to ignore her own advice. No matter what you have in your closet, and you've got plenty of skeletons, so it's surprised you could find any clothing, you think it's not going to make a big impact, but if it fits you to a T, not something you'll be familiar with, you look 1,000,000 times better, and I learned that working on Suits. In case you forgot, we keep getting reminded of it, pencil skirts were a staple in Harry's wife's wardrobe. The actress would keep it sexy, yet classy, as she would pair the seductive look with a cute and modest blouse, which would invariably end up on the floor as she got down to her skimpies. The archetyped Podcrap host partnered with Reitmans in 2016 and launched a fall line for the clothing brand. In the promotional photos, Harry's wife donned a wide variety of looks, but one stood out more than the others. The 90210 blowjob actress wore an all-black ensemble, which featured a long-sleeved turtle and leather pencil skirt, while working all the right angles. While promoting the line, she gushed over the everyday pieces with a little bit of edge. I certainly love pencil skirts now. I never knew that was going to be my thing, she admitted during an increasingly dull interview with Lulu magazine, while promoting the partnership. I love really classic pieces, and lots of mix and match pieces that you can implement some new sweater or button down into your wardrobe. Jackie Tardif, the Senior Vice President of Merchandising for Reitmans, gushed over Harry's wife and how perfect she was for the campaign. Ms. Harry's wife truly embodies the modern professional woman. This is what I have to say, she remarked, whilst having a loaded gun put to her head, both in her career and personal life. She resonates with both existing and new Reitmans customers, making her the perfect partner for this workwear collection, she said in a statement at the time before asking could she then go home. And then we're told, get ready to see some looks from the past and keep scrolling to see Harry's wife in shorts and skirts. Well, there you have it. Aren't you amazed at how brilliant she is? And of course, all of this had to be resurrected. It had to be resurrected in order to tell us about things that we already knew, namely the Reitman shoot and her supposed fashion icon status, so bringing up the past, because there's nothing interesting about her. And thus, with her need to gain the fuel and assert control, she has to keep engaging in these behaviours. And each time, and believe me, there's more than just this. I only give you a small selection of the bollocks that's out there, whereby the regurgitation of the events from the past. It just goes to show how transparently dull she is, how there's nothing actually there, and there is this increasing reliance, because she isn't able to offer anything else, on these staples from the past. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.